Chicago Cubs baseball on ABC 7.
Beautiful day here in Wrigleyville, and Cub fans excited about their club 5-0 to start this 7-game homestand. Today they host the Pittsburgh Pirates in the middle game of a weekend series here on ABC 7. Great to have you with us. Jim DeShays and Len Casper with you. A wild 11-10 Cubs win in 12 yesterday, and the two managers are going to need a length out of their starters today for sure.
Yeah, and they've got the right guys going, the aces of each staff pitching today in this ball game. John Lester goes for the Cubs. Garrett Cole for the Pirates. Cole 5-1 on the year with a .232. Young guy with a big arm. He is 6-0 lifetime against the Cubs. John Lester 3-2 with a .410, but much better over his last 3 or 4 starts.
Yep, 3-0 in the month of May. Our Cadillac starters should be a great matchup on the mound. A 5-hour, 1-minute affair, and all kinds of crazy stuff here at the ballpark. Pirates and Cubs, game 2 next. ABC 7 is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at mbusa.com. By DeVry University, different on purpose. By American Family Insurance, insure carefully, dream fearlessly. By Chrysler, come in to get a great deal during the Chrysler Awards season event. And by Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at southwest.com. Summer-like here in Chicago, sun shining, wind blowing out as the Pirates and the Cubs play game 2. And the Cubs perfect so far since the bleachers reopened on Monday night, 5-0. JD, let's get your keys to the game.
Yeah, we talked about it in the open. Managers need length from both of these starters. So for the Cubs, that's John Lester. Joe Madden would love to see him get through 7 here this afternoon. And for the Cub hitters, working the count against Garrett Cole, see if they can force Clint Hurdle into an early move to his bullpen.
Let's get the Pirates lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. This is only the 5th time they have faced a left-handed starter out of their first 37 games. Harrison, Walker, and McCutchen. Harrison and McCutchen, big games yesterday. Starling Marte has been hot as of late. So has the shortstop, Jung Ho Gung. It's Corey Hart at first. Sean Rodriguez in right. And the battery today, Stewart and Garrett Cole.
Toyota defense for the Cubs here this afternoon. Coughlin, Fowler, Soler in the outfield. Infield of Bryant, Castro, Russell, Rizzo, David Ross, as is the norm. The catcher today for John Lester. The Cubs have played errorless baseball through this 5-game winning streak. And the big lefty, 3-2 with a 4.10 through 7 starts. This will be his first start against the Pirates this year. It's kind of hard to believe given how much we've seen of the Pirates, and it's his first start against them since 2011.
Well, the big lefty is ready to work, and we're underway. A strike called on a fastball at 93. Interesting to note, the umpires today, Chris Siegel, Chad Fairchild, the crew chief Jim Joyce, Marcus Patillo's over at third. Greg Gibson got hit a couple of times yesterday, and I wonder, JD, if he just needed a day off after 5 hours back of the plate, and a couple of times the trainer had to check on him.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, if I were an umpire, I'd want it in my contract that if I had to be back there that long behind the plate, I'd get the next day off. You know, call it the 400 pitch rule or whatever.
Off the outside corner, it's 1-2. Breaking ball is popped into shallow right, and it's the second baseman Russell to make the catch. First pitch weather for today brought to you by Four Seasons Heating and Air Conditioning. For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons. 79 beautiful degrees, and a southwest wind means it's blowing straight out. Lights are on here in the late afternoon hours, as we will have some shadows creeping over the field here in probably about 30 minutes or so, as switch hitting Neil Walker takes a strike. Lester working quickly, and that's on the inside corner on a cutter. He wasn't too thrilled with Andy Fletcher's strike zone, particularly late in his last start, but his catcher David Ross kind of played middleman between pitcher and umpire, kept him in the game.
Backdoor cutter there just missed. He ended up walking 4 in that ball game, but he wasn't wild. You know, he doesn't like to give in to the middle of the plate. He was trying to pick away at corners, so it was kind of a tug of war between Lester and Andy Fletcher in that game.
Swing and a miss on a curveball for strike 3. 2 away.
In that start, John went 6 innings, allowed 5 hits, 3 runs. The Cubs beat the Mets 4-3. Bullpen came in, did a nice job behind him. He picked up a W. Cubs have won his last 4 starts. I guess a lefty, and then you see the numbers, the last 3, 3-0 with a 180 earned run average.
Yeah, those are his May starts, and he went 0-2 in April.
Well, just struggled a little bit with fastball command early on. He wasn't happy with his cutter, wasn't getting on top of it. Did a good try there.
McCutchen homered, took 3 walks yesterday. That home run knocked in 3 to get the Pirates close. They overcame a couple of big deficits to get that game to extras. And popped into left. That's Chris Coughlin to end the inning. A 1-2-3 for Lester. The Cubs are coming up when we return. Baseball on ABC 7 has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Here's the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. 5 games over 500, trying to get to 6 for the first time. Fowler, Bryant, and Rizzo at the top. Castro, Coghlan, Soler in the middle. Ross, Lester, and Russell at the bottom.
Take a look at the Pirates defensively, brought to you by Nissan. Marte, McCutcheon, and Rodriguez in the outfield. He spells Polanco. Harrison, Gung, Walker, Hart, third to first. Chris Stewart gets the start behind the plate, and big righty Garrett Cole, he of the 96-mile-an-hour heater.
About 97 on that first pitch.
Yeah, he's maxed out at 99, sits comfortably right around 95, and just 24 years of age, and he is on the rise.
As you mentioned in the open, 6 career starts versus the Cubs. He has won all 6.
Got at least 6 innings in every one of those ball games. Quality work, as you would expect in each one. 45 strikeouts against 8 walks. It's one of those deals where in the clubhouse would be a little bit of a sense of gallows humor. We've got no chance today.
Marte in left to get Fowler for the first out.
As would be in there. Why are we even trying? Why did we even show up today? We don't have a chance against this guy.
Here's Chris Bryant. 3-run homer yesterday, couple of walks, sac fly, career high 4 RBIs. He leads the team with 24 knocked in. And he's been on base 50 times, 5-0 in 27 big league games. And he takes a strike.
He's going to reach for this one, one-handed it out of the ballpark. We might see something like that here today, too, the way that wind's blowing.
Going line out into right center. It'll drop down as Sean Rodriguez plays it on the bounce, and Bryant is aboard with a 1-out single.
Head right on it. A lot of his minor league home runs to the opposite field. He's so strong, and he stays inside the ball so well. You get a lot of base hits in that direction.
Now Anthony Rizzo, his aunt, sang the national anthem before the game today. And he drills this ball to right. It's a fair ball. Rodriguez will pick it up. Bryant to third. Gary Jones is going to hold him there, and Rizzo kept to a long single. They're at the corners with only 1 out here in the opening inning.
All kinds of offense yesterday for both clubs. The Cubs had 2 very big leads in that ball game get away. Ultimately won. That would have been a devastating loss, but they got the W, and they come out roaring here in the bottom of the first against Cole. Outfield single Bryant, and then Rizzo picks on a first pitch. Looked like a changeup. Anthony came into this one batting better than 400 on the homestand with a .583 on base percentage.
So Starlin had an interesting day yesterday, didn't he? He was on base 6 times, including reaching on an error. He scored the game-winning run in the 12th as Gregory Polanco slipped and fell in right. Talked to Gary Jones before the game. He was going to hold Castro, went partially down the line on that fly ball if Polanco had not tripped and had caught it. Rizzo takes off, and Castro sends it in the air. Bryant's going to tag. Plenty deep enough all the way to the warning track, and that will be a sac fly. And it's 1-0. Well, they're very aggressive here against Cole early in the count.
Yeah, which kind of runs contrary to what I said in the Mercedes keys to the game, that it would be a good idea to work some deep counts, try to get into that bullpen. Where whatever's available out there for Pittsburgh. But maybe the thinking is, look, this guy's just, his stuff is so good. Let's just go ahead and take a whack at the first good one you see.
Both teams made roster moves to help out their respective bullpens. Right-hander Wilfredo Boscan is now in the Pirates bullpen as Chris Coghlan backed off the plate. Steve Lombardozzi optioned to AAA, and the Cubs have a 3-man bench, and 2/3 of that bench is made up of catchers. Matt Caesar, after picking up the game-ending RBI yesterday, optioned to AAA Iowa, and right-hander Brian Schlitter is back. And it has been all hands on deck in the bullpen, and not everybody's available today. But Schlitter is. You would not bring up a guy and have him be unavailable.
Schlitter, he's kind of like a Sasquatch. He's got that big beard, and then there's occasional sightings. You know, you never know where you're going to run into him.
Well put. Rizzo, the runner at first, and he's going to take off for second, and he's going to reach. He ran on a 3-0 pitch, and he gets stolen base number 8. It's a career high for him.
Yeah, that's a high-risk play, obviously. 3-0, the hitter's got a great chance of reaching base, so you don't want to put yourself in jeopardy on the bases. He must have felt very comfortable that he's going to be able to get that bag.
So already with 8 steals, his previous career high was 6 a couple of years ago. I don't think he will end up being a 40-40 guy, but certainly on pace to steal 20 to 25.
Could easily be a 37-20 guy.
Cole is from Southern California. Pitched at UCLA and was the first overall pick in the 2011 draft. Ground ball, Walker will get it in shallow right, and that will end the inning. Couple of hits, sac fly by Castro. Cubs lead 1-0 after an inning.
Season at Wrigley after tomorrow's series finale with the Pirates. The Cubs head out for a 6-game road trip, then right back here for a start of a 6-game homestand on Memorial Day. Make sure you plan ahead. Go to Cubs.com and get your tickets today.
Cubs leading 1-0. Starling Marte takes a strike. Lester came into this game with 1,497 strikeouts. So he punched out Walker in the first. He's 2 away from 1,500. Breaking ball is elevated, and that ball's to deep center. Fowler backpedaling, and on the warning track, he makes the catch.
Well, for me, it looks like it's carrying better here today than it did yesterday. Castro's ball really flew, as did that one by Marte. It looked like he was a little off balance and hit it off the end of the bat, but still gave it a pretty good ride.
Now, Jung-Ho Kang, I mentioned, pretty hot as of late, and that's generally true. 320 over his last 16 games, but most recently he's 0 for his last 12. When he looks at a strike.
Yeah, that's the thing with these numbers. You can be hot and cold at the same time, depending on how big a sample size you look at. The Pirates overall not done a whole lot of damage against left-handed pitching. They came into this game with a team batting average of 199 against southpaws. Ranking 28th out of 30 big league clubs.
And I suppose they're fortunate they haven't faced a lot of left-handed starters. Only the 5th time so far. Bounced into left. That's a base hit.
He's hot now. He's 1 for 1. He's getting some chances. Jordy Mercer, the regular shortstop, has really struggled with the bat. And Kang has showed life here over the last few weeks, so he's getting more opportunities. Needs to use that big leg kick as a timing mechanism.
It looks like a pitcher going into his windup at the plate. Corey Hart making his 7th start overall and his 4th at first base. Pinch hit RBI single yesterday in the 6th.
Let's see what the Pirates do with John Lester on the mound. If they're aggressive trying to take a base.
Ground ball cut off by Bryant. They'll get 1 and 2. They go around the horn 5-4-3. And no challenge from Clint Hurdle. 1-0 Cubs. ABC7.com. Brought to you by Jeff Vukovich, your local nationwide agent, serving the area for 37 years. To join the nation, contact Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side.
Double play finishes off the Pirates in the top half of the inning. And how about that turn by Addison Russell? Pretty slick. Gung doesn't bother to slide. That was a little peculiar.
Jorge Soler with a ground ball into right for a base hit. I'm not sure that swing was intended to do that, but he'll take it.
And again, Cubs attacking early here against Garrett Cole. First pitch fastball.
It's their third hit, all singles off Cole. And now David Ross making his 8th start, all coming with John Lester on the mound a couple of days ago. Had to deal with some abdominal tightness against the Mets. Back in the starting lineup today. Outside, ball 1. We were getting to the point where David might have had to pitch. He worked a 1-2-3 inning on the 9th of this month in Milwaukee.
He might have said no. I think he wants to sit on that 0 ERA.
Cubs have won 5 straight. The Pirates have lost 3 in a row. And Ross bounces to third. Harrison didn't even look at second. And that'll bring up John Lester.
Yeah, I think that's under the let's just make sure we get it out here down towards the bottom of the batting order. Don't try to do too much. I thought he had a shot at Soler at second base, but that's a tough throw to make back across your body when you're charging a slow ground ball like that.
His career offer has reached 52 at bats. Squares to bunt and takes a strike. This is not a typical bunting spot.
No. Maybe just wanted to see one. Time him up a little bit before he goes deep. Kind of a peculiar strategy here. But you know what? Remember his last game? He took a swing and his left wrist was bugging him a little bit.
Yeah, so
I'm going to go with that.
I think it was his right, wasn't it?
His right wrist. Yeah.
Right wrist.
Right wrist. Yeah.
1-2 the count on Lester. Russell on deck. Well, you say peculiar. It's been that kind of week here at the old ballpark.
Trying to suck Harrison in. Yeah, that's the way the Cubs have been winning games on this homestand. You start to get that feeling in the clubhouse that maybe this is our year. There's a walk-off walk. And this proves to be the game-winning run here. Pass ball clanks out of the middle of Anthony Recker, who hit 2 home runs in the ball game, and then the king of all bizarro plays, Polanco steps on the banana peel, and the Cubs win.
A lot of tight ball games, and 7 of their 8 wins here in the month of May have all been by 1 run. Don't want to make too much out of the 1-run victories. There isn't really a correlation between 1-run wins and
being a good team.
Yeah, because bad teams can win by 1 too. They just don't win by 3 or 4 a lot, as Lester strikes out. But you'd rather win them than lose them. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, and You know, when you win them late, you know, Joe Madden has talked a lot about it. It becomes the fabric of the team where you know, psychologically you feel good. You feel like you have a chance to come from behind, things of that nature. But yeah, to say that winning a lot of one-run games helps define a team's character, no.
Soler still at second, 2 outs. .99 on the gun, just off the outside corner. .23rd Major League game for the 21-year-old Addison Russell. Strike called.
Cole's got a 4-pitch mix, slider, curveball, changeup to go along with that high-octane heater. Slide ball.
Going back to September of last year, Cole is 9-1 in his last 12 starts.
Couple trips to the DL last year cost him a dozen starts or so for his career. He's 26-13 with a .329 earned run average. Watch Chicago's #1 news, ABC 7 Eyewitness News in the morning, weekdays 4:30 to 7 a.m. with Judy Sue and Terrell Brown. Get up early, it's worth it.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Russell. Here it comes. Boy, late swing, but he was able to get a piece of it on 98.
Well, that was a good look at what we're talking about when we talk about a riding fastball. Fastball up in the zone with life. A whole lot of hitter could do with that one. Watch this ball explode. 98 up above the hands. Very few guys are going to do anything good with that.
And the bat goes flying again as Russell lets one go. Well, young fan got hit, but I think
shoulder,
she's okay.
Yeah, she got lucky. Just missed hitting her on the head. Got her on the shoulder. Yep. Oh my. Still not a whole lot of fun, but looks like she's okay. Just a suggestion too. I would do my moving around in the seats in between innings. Public service announcement.
Still 2-2 on Russell. Soler in scoring position. Outside for a ball. I was just going to add, the foul ball is underrated for a hitter. Because as you mentioned 3 pitches ago, that ball that Russell just got a piece of, it could have been a called strike 3. It's a pitch not a lot of guys can do much with, so you're best off just hitting it foul and living for another pitch.
Yeah, and it's, you know, I don't think guys are necessarily trying to foul the ball off. I mean, they're trying to put the ball in play, but it's that ability to just get a piece of it that keeps the at bat alive, keeps you in the count, forces the pitcher to throw a few more pitches.
Cole's 3-2, called strike 3 on a 100-mile-an-hour fastball that caught the outside corner. That's no fair to paint.
No, that's when you hand your bat to the umpire and say, here, you hit it.
Yeah, she's just fine. 1-0 Cubs. 7 has been brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Check out our exciting model lineup by visiting your local authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer or visit us today at MBUSA.com. Lester against Sean Rodriguez. Third inning. And a fly ball to deep left, and it will get on out of here. Rodriguez connects to tie the game 1-1.
Fifth home run allowed by John Lester this year. Second hit by Rodriguez. Both coming against the Cubs. First pitch fastball. Out over the heart of the plate. Not much doubt about it. When he made contact, you know he's going to fly out of here. That's your Toyota home run cam. And we are tied.
Yeah, his first homer came off Kyle Hendricks in Pittsburgh. Strike taken by the catcher Chris Stewart. 1-1 here in the third. Stewart in there today for Francisco Cervelli. Stewart actually 3 for 5 with a home run against Lester in his career. Cervelli had a rather eventful day. It was a foul ball and backswing magnet behind the plate. And he also knocked in 4 runs, including the game tire in the 9th inning.
He woke up this morning. He was just one big bruise.
He caught what was behind the plate for 263 pitches made by the Pirates staff on Friday.
Lester sometimes gets a little out of sync mechanically and will start drifting towards home plate a little early. His arm has a hard time catching up, and he'll be up in the zone.
Ball 4.
Like those last 2. He was going along nicely in his last start. Had allowed just 1 run through 5 and then give up back-to-back home runs to Duda and Flores of the Mets. Kids Sundays are back here at Wrigley Field tomorrow after the ball game. The first 1,000 kids 13 and younger will be allowed on the field to run the bases, weather permitting. For more information on this program, visit Cubs.com/Sundays.
Garrett Cole has 1 career home run. It came in this ballpark off Blake Parker last year on September the 7th. Bryant way in at third. Cole squares, and the pitch is away. Ball 1.
Yeah, he's a good athlete, can handle the bat.
Pushes one to Rizzo. Only play will be first. That'll go 3-4 on the sacrifice. So Stewart now at second. 1 out in the inning and back to the top. And Harrison. He popped to second to start the game. But he's 7 for his last 11. A couple of days ago he was batting 181. Now in the 220s. So yesterday the Pirates set or tied season highs in runs, hits, doubles, homers, extra base hits, and walks, and still lost.
Yeah, well, and Clint Hurdle, you know, he noted after the ball game that his club did a lot of things really well yesterday, including coming back from 2 big deficits. So his guys got after it. Came out on the wrong end. That's a tough loss. Either one of those clubs, whoever loses that game, boy, you so many resources, so many pitchers, so much energy.
That is caught by Castro. It's a line out for Harrison. 2 outs in the inning.
That's one thing to burn through your bullpen and play 5 hours and win, but to do all that and still lose, that's a kick in the gut.
Now Walker, he struck out swinging in the first.
First pitch curveball to Walker. That was a pitch John used more frequently in his last start, and that could be a real nice weapon for him. Guys are geared up for that cutter in or the four-seamer away. Ability to command that first pitch curveball, drop it in there for strike one, opens up a lot of possibilities for a pitcher.
Cubs are within 4 games of the Cardinals in the National League Central. St. Louis lost to Detroit last night. Detroit leading 3-2 after 3. I know they had some rain in St. Louis. Miguel Cabrera has hit his 400th career home run. A day after Adrian Beltre did it in Texas. Bob LaCourcio Auto Group NL Central standings. Cardinals and Cubs, the only 2 teams currently over 500. Ryan Braun, couple of homers, great diving catch as Brewers won at New York last night. Mets have lost 5 in a row. They're only a half game up on the Nationals now.
Five above 500. The Cubs have reached their high water mark for the 3rd time. They were 12-7 and then 13-8.
Bounce back to Lester. And he'll run it halfway over. Underhand to Rizzo. Rodriguez leadoff homer ties it. 1-1 in the 3rd. Stanton is pretty good. And the home runs he's been hitting lately have been absolutely massacred. That one about 478 feet. He hit one clear out of Dodger Stadium the other night. Wasn't enough today as the Braves beat the Marlins 5-3. We mentioned those milestone home runs. Adrian Beltre last night, number 400. Today, Miguel Cabrera. So Andres Galarraga and Al Kaline were at 399 and still are. But the two active guys are about ready to jump into the top 50.
Yep, next on the list is Duke Snider at 407.
He's 51st. Alfonso Soriano with 412. Number 50 on the all-time list.
Beltre's 36 years of age. Cabrera just 32.
A 1-1 tie as the Cubs bat here in the third inning. Fowler. Line drive base hit that drops in front of McCutchen.
A lot of people thought Bryce Harper would really break out in a big way this year. Some people picked him for their preseason MVP, and he has lived up to the hype. Todd Frazier having a big year. Cincinnati hosts the All-Star game this year, so you know he'd love to be a part of it. And the rookie Jock Peterson. Anxious to see him play.
Runner at first, nobody out. Chris Bryant takes a strike. It's interesting. Chris Bryant actually has a higher walk rate so far this year in the big leagues than he did as a minor leaguer. 1 out of every 5.6 plate appearances. In the minors, 1 for every 7.8. So obviously teams have been fairly careful with him, although Cole going right at him here 0-2.
Well, I think
he's been patient.
I think there are a couple things that work. One, big league pitchers are better at executing a game plan. That's the idea, is to stay away from Bryant. They can do it better than minor league pitchers. And it may be that Chris has just, been a little more patient here than he was as a minor league hitter. So I'm anxious to see that evolution. We've talked about it with Anthony Rizzo, how patient he is, but how sometimes he'll jump on a pitch early, as he did his first at bat here today. So we may see that with Chris going forward, but man, he's been so good. And 421 on this homestand. The power has really showed itself in the last week.
Cole listed at 6'4", 222.
Perspiration working its way through his jersey. This is probably a 3-jersey day for these pitchers.
Yeah, we had a 3-dog night earlier this week against the Mets, and today is a 3-jersey day.
3 jerseys and at least that many T-shirts.
You may have just inspired a local garage band to make it big. Looking for a name. We could be 3-jersey day.
You're just hanging out, watching a ball game.
Two and two. How many times have we seen Chris Bryant start in at bat 0-2 and then work it to at least 2-2?
Yeah, I think he's one of those guys that the longer he's in the league, pitchers are going to realize when they get the jump on him, they should press their advantage, try to finish him off early. He's going to work his way back into a count. They're really going to have to make a pitch. Especially a guy like Cole with his stuff. If you get 0-2 on a hitter and the guy's a little bit defensive, he's in protect mode, that 98 in, there's not a lot he's going to do with it.
Fowler, the runner at first, nobody out. And he takes off for second. The pitch is low. The throw is in time to get him.
Fowler taking his time coming out the field, looking in towards the Cubs dugout as Joe Madden waits word as to whether they should appeal this one or not. Short hop throw, looked like the throw beat him. The question is, was the tag applied before the hand got to the base?
Should give us a good look.
Wow. It's tough to tell there. That one looks safe. That one looks safe. Safe-ish right there.
Joe is going to challenge. I don't think he got. Yeah, he didn't get him on the first try.
Okay, it looked like the tag was applied up around the left elbow just after the hand got to the base. That's really close.
Joe is looking at the board right now after being advised to challenge.
You vote America. We'll be tabulating all your votes, and we'll send the fan vote into the umpires, and that will be weighed 1/3 of the vote. The on-field in New York, and then the fan vote. That's going to be the new replay. The fans really like the last look they got here on the big board.
The center field look is pretty good. The problem is the helmet kind of gets in the way of our view. That one right there. It's hard to tell is a glove on the sleeve or not.
Again, we're looking for conclusive evidence to overturn. Maybe the next thing we'll do is we'll have players outfitted with GoPro cameras all over their bodies. And we'll get even more looks.
Then we'll say, but he tagged him on the GoPro. That doesn't count.
Oh, here's another tweak in the rule for you. You can't overturn it, and it's too close to call. But you might be right, so you're going to keep your review.
Now the glove there gets in the way of the hand, so every view has just a little bit of an issue.
It's like 12 Angry Men if we were a jury trying to hear this case. Meanwhile, a long delay for Garrett Cole, which on a hot, steamy day like today may be a good thing. See, when we had this discussion many times last year, we were both of the mind that it seems if it takes this long, then the call on the field probably should stand because there isn't compelling evidence to overturn. But we got, the technology is such that you can look at it so many different ways.
Yep, the call stands, and I know the reaction is going to be they got it wrong. Look, I think he was safe. But the original call is the key to this. They had to find conclusive evidence to overturn, and because of the helmet, because of the glove, all those things, there was nothing that gave us a definitive 100% look.
All stands is the ruling from New York.
Three minutes, 5 seconds. Yeah, my thought was 2 minutes.
Give it to him, make up your mind.
Once they put the headset on, you've got 2 minutes, and then the call stands if you can't find the replay you're looking for. He walked him, so 0-2 to 4-2 for Bryant. Well, Anthony Rizzo, among the league leaders in home runs. That's number 8, and he's hit 6 now in his last 14 games.
That was a loud one.
So the other part of replay, and you can answer to this as a pitcher, they had a 5-minute replay call in Toronto last week. I think it was the Red Sox and Blue Jays. Is that the kind of thing as a starting pitcher, no matter what the call is, you're like, let's go?
Yes. Yes. That can get very annoying.
Base hit right center for Rizzo. Bryant on his way to third. Rizzo with a big turn. He's going to hold with a single. How about this combination? 4 plate appearances, and they've been on all 4 times.
Nice easy swing at 96. It's a 2-seam fastball with a little run about belt high. Rizzo up on his toes, gets on top of it. Anthony Rizzo has no weakness right now as a hitter. There's just nowhere you feel really good about. Hard, soft, in, out, up, down. I mean, he's covering everything. I know I say it every day. People are probably getting tired of it. It's the truth.
Castro hit a sac fly to give the Cubs a 1-0 lead in the first. Pirates came back to tie it on the Rodriguez homer in the top of this inning.
But to finish the point on the long delay, if you're pitching well, yeah, let's go. Let's move on. I'd rather stay in rhythm and give up the base. So, obviously, unless it's a play at the plate and it's costing me a run.
A chopper that'll be cut off by Harrison. They get 1. That's it. So Castro without a hit. He's been to the plate twice, has knocked in 2. He had a 2-run fielder's choice earlier this season, so give him 22 knocked in on the year. And it's 2-1 Cubs.
To Hopper out there to Harrison. A long time for that play to unfold, and Walker has to take action here to avoid getting hit by Rizzo, so no chance to get 2.
So 2 down. Castro the runner at first, and it's Coghlan with an interesting shift by the Pirates. Harrison way off the line at third.
Got Coghlan's attention, and he was thinking about a little push bunt there.
Runner goes, and the throw gets into center. Castro will make his way to third. A steal and an error on Stewart.
Castro doesn't run off at his 4th stolen base. The Cubs just must like the math they're getting with Cole's delivery times to home. Picked a good pitch. And for Stewart to get into a good throwing position with.
Good slide and block by Stewart with that runner at third.
We talked earlier in the game, at the start of the game, one of the keys was to try to work the count against Cole, and it seemed like the Cubs were just content to go up there and swing early. But I guess the best way to work the count is just to have a lot of base runners, and that's what they've done here this afternoon. They've made him work awfully hard, so he's up to 54 pitches now as he works in the third. Madden continues to be unconventional. This ballpark on a day like today, most guys would say, hey, let's not take any chances on the bases. Let's just kind of swing, see if we can get some balls up in the air. He's had his guys running.
Strike three on the inside. Coghlan not so sure about it. The Cubs retake the lead, however. Chris Bryant has scored twice on RBIs from Starlin Castro, and it's 2-1. Cubs lead 2-1. Andrew McCutchen bounces one to third. Chris Bryant is there, and he gets it to Rizzo in time.
Watch Chicago's #1 news, ABC 7 Eyewitness News, weeknights at 10 with Ron Majors, Kathy Brock, Cheryl Burton, Jerry Taft, and Mark Greco. They're #1 for a reason. They use the opposite field. They go first to third. They respect 90.
In the news business, would it be respect to 30?
Respect 30.
Marte, the batter. And a curve for a strike.
I mentioned earlier that the Pirates have been woeful against left-handed pitching this year. Not this guy. Hitting .389 with 4 home runs. Just prior to his first at-bat here today. And those 4 home runs coming in only 18 at-bats against left-handed pitching.
Cubs have really turned the tables on this matchup with the Pirates. Well documented how dominating they were last year. Safe at first. Marte with an infield hit. Good effort by Bryant.
And Marte gets a bunch of these. He hits the ball on the ground a lot and he runs really fast. Good try by Chris Bryant, but to no avail. And you got to believe at some point here Marte is going to try to steal a base.
They have not been particularly aggressive. A few base runners they've had against Lester. Here's Gung. He singled in the second and then was erased on a 5-4-3 inning-ending double play. There he goes, and he is safe. Marte with number 6 on the year. He got on and he took off on the first pitch.
Yeah, he didn't have a very aggressive lead. I was a little surprised by that. Ross with a fairly quick release, but Marte just able to outrun it.
And by the way, if there was some egregiously awful call there where he was called safe and clearly out, Joe does not have the challenge, remember? So he could ask after the 6th inning that they review it, but until then he was challengeless. Well, he's challengeless the rest of the way, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He can politely ask late in the ballgame. Oh. Gunn trying to hit that one to Evanston. 2-1. Not sure if he knows where Evanston is, but
it's generally in that direction. That's what he had in mind. A lot of base stealers, when contemplating stealing third, prefer to do it with a lefty on the mound. They just like to look better, and then you got a lefty who doesn't like to throw to the bases. So again, though, fairly modest lead for Marte.
the wind and the wind. One guy has a ball, the other guy has a bat.
Usually doesn't do it with 2 strikes. Whoop.
Ross had asked for time.
John's holding it a good long while, trying to freeze Marte out there, and then Gong with a late request.
Cubs have won Lester's last 4 starts, dating to April the 13th, or April the 24th, I should say. And, all those starts have been quality outings for John. The pitch. Little blooper is going to drop over Russell and in front of Soler. Marte wasn't quite sure, so he could only advance 1. And first and third here, with only 1 out.
Big leg kick, soft contact. He was late. The ball beat him, but he got lucky. You see Marte trying to gauge this one. Doesn't want to get doubled off. It's one of those that's pretty easy to tell from our vantage point up here that it was going to get down, but down at field level, it's a tougher read.
It's Corey Hart. And he looks at a strike.
Ironically, not even wearing his sunglasses in the daytime.
Right. How about that? Former Brewer and Mariner. Runner goes from first, and that ball pulled foul. Trying to stay out of a possible double play here. Smart bounced into a 5-4-3 his first time up.
Stingy with his runners in scoring position. He wasn't happy with himself after his last start when asked about it in his post-game press conference. I think he said, "I stink." I thought it was a little bit of rough self-assessment. 3 runs in 6 innings. It was mostly good. Those back-to-back home runs got him in the 6th.
Runner goes from first again, and Gunn will get the bag without a throw. It's a second steal. The Pirates have 2 here in this 4th inning. So now everybody back on the infield. Lester would love a strikeout. And he gets it. So 2 outs in the inning.
You see Ross sliding way off that outside corner, so it's like, hey, just hit me right in the middle of my body or miss off to play it away. Hart long, that's good reach, but couldn't get to that one. Got greedy. Couple men on base.
Rodriguez went deep in his first at bat.
Jumped on a first pitch fastball, maybe a cutter. It just didn't have a lot of action on it, so they start breaking ball here.
It was Clint Hurdle who said you put an eye patch on Sean Rodriguez and he'd look just like that logo on the sleeve.
They got a little Serpico going there. See Serpico.
Like Jason Worth in the stands. 2 balls, no strikes. A pitch. Swing and a miss. 2-1.
Jason Worth got hurt.
He did. He got hit on the wrist, and that has been a problem area for him in his career. Now 3-1. Catcher Stewart is on deck.
Yeah, I think he's going to come with a breaking ball here or try to paint with a fastball. He's not going to give in. 3-1 with Stewart due next and a base open. It's a cutter. Got a break.
Big crowd here at Wrigley Field today. Making some noise. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a pitch. Strike 3. He got him. Career strikeout number 1,500 for John Lester as that gets him out of the 4th inning. ABC7 is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Toyota. The Toyota Time Sales Event ends June 1st. Hurry in today. Toyota, let's go places. And by the Bob LaCourcio Auto Group. You're going to like buying a car this way. Cole against Soler with the Cubs maintaining their 2-1 lead. Fastball with a little sink on it. Nice job by Lester to get out of the top of this inning with no damage done. Called strike 3.
Take a look at our Xfinity pitch tracks. Well placed right on the edge. Got 2 really good pitches by Lester. Finish off Rodriguez. That first one was off the plate inside, but again, it was 3-1. He wasn't going to give in. He got the break, got the call from the home plate umpire. Nasty fastball right at the bottom of the knees.
Awkward swing by Ross. David in his 14th big league season. He's only played over 100 games one time. That was in 07. But he has never been a non-roster invitee. He always had a major league contract. Tells you what teams think of David Ross. Can you be a premier backup catcher?
Yeah, I think you can.
Well, if there is one, it's David Ross. Five 2-year contracts.
Oh, blew a tire there. I mean, on a day when both managers are hoping their pitchers pitch deep into this game, it's a tough day to do it because it's so hot and steamy.
Strike 3, got him. Back-to-back Ks of the looking variety. Actually 3 in a row going back to Coghlan to win the 3rd.
Visit the Cubs Authentics auction page every Sunday night for your chance to own one-of-a-kind game-used Cubs items. This week's auction features the pink-out BP jerseys worn on Monday, May 11th. Net proceeds from the sale of these jerseys will benefit mammograms for under and uninsured women through the Advocate Healthcare. Go to Cubs.com/authentics to place your bids.
Lester skies one down the left field line. It's going to twist out of play for strike 1. Nothing in 2.
It was kind of funky. He went up there his first at bat with a man on second and 1 out, and he showed bunt for a couple of pitches. We were trying to figure out why. I thought maybe his right wrist was bothering him, but he finished that at bat swinging. He's back in here, so I'm not sure what the thinking was.
Pitch number 70 for Cole today, and he strikes out the side. All looking. 2-1 Cubs at the end of 4.
Chicago. Watch the show. Everyone in Chicago is talking about Chicago's most watched local talk show, Windy City Live. Weekdays at 11, only on ABC 7.
Cubs Double-A affiliate, the Tennessee Smokies.
It's the Olsen twins.
Here's Chris Stewart. Right in there for strike one. That's milestone for John Lester. Strike two. A.J. Burnett and Jake Arrieta to wrap up the series in homestand tomorrow. That should be fun.
Yeah, great pitching matchup tomorrow. Burnett among the league leaders with that 1.60 ERA. Arrieta was brilliant last time out.
Castro with time to get a hustling Chris Stewart.
A stutter step approach to that one, but Stewart, not a real speedy guy. Castro able to get him.
Cole can swing it a little bit. I mentioned he homered here last year. 188 so far in his career. It's all about the bat waggle. You got a good bat waggle, you look hitterish.
And if you can't swing it, you got no business waggling. Guys will be called out for that. Evil intentions with that swing.
And rolled into right for a base hit. He waggled that one into right.
He did. He showed a pretty solid approach there. He took the home run swing, didn't get it, and then he backed off a little bit, was willing just to punch a single the other way. .188 career hitter, which is above average for a pitcher.
The former Cub farmhand Josh Harrison. And he rolls one into right. Cole will put on the brakes at second. Back-to-back one-out singles.
It's always the potential for a big inning when that 9 spot gets on, the lineup turns over. Lester has to deal with Walker, McCutchen, and Marte here. Possibly.
Mentioned earlier, Atlanta over Miami 5-3 a final. Twins won again 6-4 over Tampa Bay. Minnesota 21-16 now. And that will be caught by Russell. What a grab.
He can play. He can do everything on a baseball field. He's got power, speed. And he can do this too. This is most impressive. Great timing.
Well, like a good NFL wide receiver, he completed the process.
Break the fall, hang on to the ball. Lester says thank you very much. Been tight here lately. Not committed an error in their last 6.
Bears coach John Fox is watching this game. He might get some ideas. It was a beautiful grab. I know you talked to him about his high school career. What was his football position?
It was a running back.
Running back.
Said he got mail from Nebraska.
He didn't open it?
Disregarded it, yeah. And already on the baseball path.
And one hop to Castro. He's got to throw to first. And that will end the inning. So the Pirates get a couple of hits. But solid D, which the Cubs have played throughout this homestand. And it's still 2-1. '87 has been brought to you by the Bob LaCourcio Auto Group. You're going to like buying a car this way.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
Time now for our out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Chrysler. Finals from Miami, 5-3 Braves over the Marlins. The Twins beat the Rays today in Minneapolis. The Tigers have a 3-2 lead at St. Louis after winning last night. Home runs today. Miguel Cabrera has hit the 400th of his career, 10th on the season. Peter Borges has gone deep, his first. Matt Carpenter, number 7.
David Price for Detroit today. And Tyler Lyons, the youngster that we saw us go around with the Cardinals. Lyons already out of the ball game. Cardinals come back to earth here a bit. 5-5 in their last 10 ball games.
Cubs leading 2-1, trying to add on here in the 5th. Garrett Cole has a streak of 4 straight strikeouts, all looking. Coghlan, Soler, Ross, Lester.
And look who's leading off the inning.
It's almost like he made a great play.
9-1-2. Russell fouls. Troy Tulowitzki had to leave last night with left quad tightness. Justin Morneau goes to the concussion DL. So more bad news for the Rockies.
Yeah, Morneau left the ball game the other day with dizziness. Perhaps that would be coming.
Did you see one of the smokestacks at Great American Ballpark actually caught on fire?
Yes.
Last night? Guy had to get a ladder. I mean, as Bruce Bochy said after the game, that takes some guts to poke your head into a smokestack that's literally on fire. They were able to extinguish it. And a bad propane valve. Ooh, knocked down by Hart. Cole covering. Safe at first.
Probably safer if he just runs through the base, but good hustle by Russell. Kind of rolls off the tongue.
It's an error on Corey Hart.
Wow, flying through the air. Take a look. So he loses time launching himself this way if he just runs through the base. He's going to get there a little bit quicker.
No challenge.
Love the willingness to give up the body. To a degree. He's hit into some tough luck here lately. Addison Russell, a couple errors on balls that were really sharply hit. I'm not arguing with the ruling. I think they were both errors, but not easy plays.
Russell with a huge lead at first. Strike one to Fowler. Giants will get Hunter Pence back. Remember, he got hit by a pitch on March 5th, right at the beginning of spring training. It was against the Cubs. Corey Black suffered a broken bone in his forearm. 1-1.
And Jaime Garcia made a rehab start for the Cardinals yesterday, I believe it was. 6 solid innings, so he may jump into this rotation spot where Lyons is right now.
Russell way beyond the cutout, which means that's about as big a lead as you'll see a guy get at first base.
Yeah, I'm trying to think in recent years who I've seen take a bigger lead, and I can't come up with anybody.
Now 2-1. Well, you know what? Most guys probably don't take a big enough lead.
I would agree with that. Obviously, a lot depends on who's on the mound, what the situation is.
Back to Cole. And they turn it. That's all about Cole fielding that ball cleanly. And it goes 1-6-3 on the double play.
Perfect hop right up to him. He just has to settle himself, make the feed to Gung, and pretty easy double play here by the Pirates.
So Bryant with a single, a walk, and both Cubs runs. And DeVry University league leaders since April the 17th. You see Chris Bryant showed up and started compiling some impressive numbers. On that debut against the Padres, he went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. And the next day had 2 hits, 3 walks, and his career kind of started in earnest. I love the symmetry, though, of his pro debut with was Boise, right? 0 for 5, 5 strikeouts. As he rolls that one into center.
Yeah, it was a savvy move not to set the bar too high early on.
Kind of poetic. I think he'd be hard pressed right now, JD, to find 2 hitters in any National League lineup back to back that you'd rather have going than these 2 guys right now.
It's interesting that you said that, because I had that exact thought earlier. I was going to say, if you could trade, you had to trade a duo. Would you trade these 2 for any, would you take anybody else? I can't come up with one.
Yeah, and Rizzo we probably haven't talked about enough because of Bryant and Russell.
Yeah, we're taking the big guy for granted.
I mentioned that to him, by the way, and he likes it. He does. He says that's good. That means we're playing well. One and two the count.
He's got the 4th best OPS in baseball. An outstanding defender down there at first base. He's added the stolen base to his arsenal.
Yeah, probably the only other team you would consider taking a couple of guys would be the Dodgers. Right? Gonzalez, Jock Peterson have been pretty good. Cole showing off his athleticism. He's got a base hit today, a couple of nice defensive plays, but he's trailing this one 2-1. Oakland. They were not summoned last night, but they did have to call the fire department in Cincinnati.
Game played on. They evacuated that section beneath that smoke. It shoots flame when it throws a 95-mile-an-hour plus heater. Ironic that the batter at the time was Joe Panic when the fire started.
Here we go, 6th inning. Too bad it wasn't Milwaukee. Mike fires. Justin Smoke.
See you working.
Josh Fogg.
Go crisp.
Marte on an 0-2 inside. He's 1 for 2. He hit one to the warning track for an out, and then picked up an infield single. Stole a base in the 4th.
Pitchers pitching a very competitive ball game here. Cubs with a 1-run lead here in the top of the 6th. Both teams have had their chances. These guys have had to pitch out a couple of jams.
Left field corner for Marte. He's at second with no outs.
Yeah, 2 base runners in the 4th. They had back-to-back singles after 1 out, and then last inning a couple of more knocks. And Lester able to work out of those situations. Now he's faced with his leadoff double by Marte.
Bring up Gung, first year here after 9 years in the Korean baseball organization. He's played for the Unicorns, the Heroes, the Pirates. Inside corner, 0-2. That's a good nickname, the Heroes.
High expectations. Called the Heroes.
I would think so.
A little higher than like the Lansing Lugnuts.
They have a team called the Villains. The Heroes versus the Villains. I guess the Pirates are kind of like that, right? In a way. 1-2. Hit the mitt, but off the plate. 2-2. 1 with you on the 3 jersey day. Both starting pitchers working up a lather on this warm afternoon. A little muggy. Bounce to third. Marte is going to hold it second as Bryant takes care of Gung. 1 out.
Marte thought about it, then decided just to drop anchor and settle in at second base. If he was thinking about stealing third base, this would be the time to do it with 1 out.
Now, is that read for Marte? And we saw Castro heading over to third to back up Bryant. Because Bryant's momentum's going in, that's a tougher read for a runner at second, right? I mean, if Bryant is kind of going back and has a long throw off balance, it's a little easier to take off for third.
Yeah.
It's a much shorter throw for Bryant. And ultimately, I think the right read by Marte.
Yeah, and it just takes a little peek from the third baseman here to stop his momentum. That's the key. Ryan didn't really give him one, but that's defensively, that's what you're supposed to do. Make sure that guy stops He's forced to restart if he wants to try to get that extra 90 feet.
There he goes, and Hart fouls, but Marte got a pretty good jump.
Yeah, and that's the problem. If you don't go early, you know, the hitter can't take a strike here and be down 2 strikes. I mean, he is ultimately, because he fouled it off. He's looking to do some damage to drive in the run. So if the Clint Hurdle and the marching orders were for Marte to try to steal that base, you would prefer he do it earlier.
Swing and a miss. Throw goes back to second. Safe. Ooh. Marte took off for third, then put on the brakes. Hart struck out, and Ross almost nailed the runner. He got back in.
Is Marte, I guess, he just stumbled and decided to stop, or was he just trying to take an aggressive secondary lead off there? Worth the challenge if you had a challenge?
No. I don't think so. Do you?
Couldn't really tell.
I think it was a low, late tag by Russell. Hey, MLB.TV Premium is #1 for streaming live sports. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Sean Rodriguez, foul strike. He homered in the third. That's the Pirates' only run to date. Deep breath by the lefty. Big leg kick. 0-2. Nothing cheap about that one.
Yeah, you know, you don't think of Rodriguez as a big home run hitter, but when he hit that home run against Kyle Hendricks earlier this year, Joe Madden after the game said, yeah, he's got legitimate pop. You got to be careful with him.
Lester gets out of it again. Leadoff double, but Marte ends up marooned right there at second base. 2-1 Cubs. Let's take a look at the Dunkin' Donuts fan cam. America runs on Dunkin'. Well, not quite sure why, if there was any sort of injury, but the Pirates have taken Corey Hart out of the game. So Gregory Polanco's now playing right. Rodriguez moves to first, and a very rough day for Corey Hart. A 5-4-3 double play and 2 strikeouts with men in scoring position. Also an error on defense. And ball 2 on Castro.
Yeah, I don't know if there's an injury issue with Hart or if it's just to tighten things up defensively. Polanco in the outfield, Rodriguez moving to first.
3-0. The knees right down the middle. Not down the middle, but it caught enough of the plate, and it's full.
He's been able to make that pitch frequently here this afternoon, and boy, that's just nasty.
Lifted to deep center. Not as deep as I thought. McCutchen with the catch. Wind has shifted a little bit. It's like a little right to left action now. Coghlan 0 for 2, but has had a good homestand in that Mets series. He homered and also took the bases loaded walk in the ninth to win the game. And he fouls.
Cole at 94 pitches now, so perhaps finish this one in one more, depending on how it goes.
I'm guessing we wouldn't see Radames Liz.
No, I think Liz is probably down. And I'm not sure who Clint Hurdle has available over there today. Caminero, perhaps, the new kid. Moscan.
Coghlan could not hold. That's a strikeout. So 7 now for Cole. Well, with the bleachers reopened, a huge crowd today. This is the largest so far this season here at Wrigley Field. 38,883. Inside on Solari's 1 for 2. 247 in April, 309 so far here in May.
On base all day yesterday, 2 walks and a single. Well, ultimately 4 walks. His last 2 trips he was intentionally walked.
Chopper up along third. It's going to kick foul. Yeah, we probably haven't talked enough about how crazy that game was in extras. The bottom of the 10th and the bottom of the 12th. It was like an exact carbon copy, except for the finish. I mean, you had Montero singling to the right side. to get Castro to third. You had Soler intentionally walked. So you had the same exact base runners, same exact hitter at the plate, almost the same exact
same exact guy. David Ross out on deck both times, and Caesar, the hitter, hit that little shallow pop into right field on both occasions. First time Polanco caught it. Castro tagged, tried to score. He was thrown out, and then the next time Polanco stumbled, fell, and the Cubs won. Depending on which Cub fan you talk to, that stumble was caused either by Ron Santo or Ernie Banks. Some kind of divine intervention.
Yep. Line over. A leaping Neil Walker on 98 miles an hour. Soler with a base hit.
Well, he went to right field first time up. This time he stays inside the ball. They're trying to throw that paint fastball down and away, but it leaks back over the heart of the plate. But at 98 miles an hour, still a challenge. Soler, he hits fastballs and he hits line drives. A good example of both right there. Heater at 98, solid line drive base hit.
So we had the homer and the Gloman back in the 30s with the stumble and the what? Got to come up with some name for that instant classic. Here is David Ross.
Hey, you just locked me up. I'm going to be grinding away on this one for a while now.
The pitch. Low, ball one.
Feel bad for the kid, you know, to lose the game that way.
Yeah, and I thought he had blown out his knee or something, and unfortunately, I think only his pride was injured.
Polanco plop.
Polanco's actually had a couple of bad finishes here early in the season. This is the slip, the fall. Now you go back to April 9th. This actually was called an error. I don't know if he got a good break on that Marlin Bird liner, but it was dipping, clanked off the glove. Reds win.
Yeah, the game against Cincinnati, a much more difficult chance for him. And, you know, interesting, and, you know, the first go around, as we mentioned, Castro tagged and tried to score on a shallow fly ball. And you could see watching the footwork there from Polanco, he was positioning himself to make a throw. So I don't know if Castro going the first time kind of led him to believe that he was probably going to try it again. I mean, any good outfielder would position himself to make a throw anyway.
Ross swings and misses to end the inning. So we'll go off to the 7th. Pitcher's duel here. 2-1 Cubs. .305 batter, 4 batting titles, 2 with the Cubs, a couple more with the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's Bill Madlock. Mad Dog, good to see you. How are you?
Oh, really good. It's fun watching the team this year.
Yeah, it sure has. Chris Bryant, Addison Russell, these kids, the approach, pretty impressive, isn't it?
Oh, it is. You know, see them adjust from game to game and from facing the pitcher the first time to the second time. It's amazing how mature some of these young guys are.
John Lester here in the 7th, facing Chris Stewart. Jordy Mercer is on deck. Looks like he'll bat for Garrett Cole. We mentioned as we started, Cole 6 career starts against the Cubs, all wins. Right now trailing 2-1. See Ross waving Chris Bryant, telling him to move back a couple of steps, and Stewart bounces that one off his foot.
And that cutter in, it's a pitcher right-handed hitter, will hit on the ground in that direction quite often.
So did you, all right, natural grass or turf? You played on a lot of both in your career.
I like natural grass because my knees still hurting from the turf.
Yeah, not a lot of artificial turf left. What, Toronto and Tampa? That'll be it, right?
Well, I think just Toronto. I don't know if you want to call that stuff in Tampa Bay natural grass.
But yeah, so the speedy guys that chopped the ball on the ground and they took advantage of the turf. But the line drives play anywhere, right?
Right.
I mean, that's your game.
You know, especially playing here, you got to learn how to hit line drive because the wind affect you a lot here.
And the grass back in the day too was
a little thick,
pretty bushy.
Yeah. We didn't have the speediest infielders.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Stewart. And he stays alive. Pretty impressive stuff. How about that? The Cubs since 1940 to hit over 330 a couple of times. That's your serious look right there.
Oh yeah.
That's your I'm here to hit.
Yeah.
I'm all business. And look out Mercer as Stewart fouled that one to the on deck circle.
Getting into the later stages of this game, did you have, when you saw a pitcher for the 3rd or 4th go around in a game, did you have a certain game plan or?
Well, we just look maybe lose a little bit off that fastball, and that's what we look for. But the left-handers, they're a little more crafty. They start about the same speed, and they end with the same speed. You know, especially throwing a cutter, a little this and a little that, like Randy Jones.
Line foul through the bullpen. Sure, you get asked this a lot, Bill. Who was the toughest guy you faced?
Oh, Steve Carlton by far.
Not even close, huh?
Not even close. Him and Kuzman was basically the same type of pitcher, that slider down and in. So those guys are tough.
I'm glad you mentioned Kuzman. He's kind of underrated.
Yeah, he's underrated as a
career.
pitcher. Yes.
Bryant to Rizzo. All right, I have your career splits. Do you know what they are? Left, right?
No. I know it wasn't too. I didn't hit lefty.
All right, so this is good. So you're what would your guess be? You were better against righties or lefties?
I would think I was better against righties.
Okay. Well, you hit .305 against righties. You hit .305 against lefties. Your on base percentage within 7 points. You're slugging within 30. You were the same guy.
Oh, same guy. But
didn't matter.
But I had to make it up when I wasn't facing Carlton and
just memories of Carlton. Yeah, kind of.
Well, your answer is interesting because when I talk to a lot of guys, their answer seems to be more about comfort than it was what the actual results were. Right. So some guys will say, "Gosh, I hated facing that guy," and you're like, "Wait a minute, you're 12 for 38 against this guy, or whatever."
Well, they make you work. You make you concentrate. When you're playing the better teams and better pitchers, you're more into the game.
Mm-hmm. And it may be some of those soft tossing lefties you thought I should just wear this guy out.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. You want to know what you did against Steve Carlton?
What?
You hit .311. with an OPS of .835, 3 home runs and 131 plate appearances. You did all right. You had a higher batting average against Carlton than you did the rest.
How many times did I strike out, though?
Probably, let's see.
See, Carlton's on a telecast somewhere going, Bill Madlock used to wear me out, man.
Yeah, I think you faced him more than anybody. You struck out 19 times. That's not bad.
No, that's not bad. But I didn't feel comfortable, like you said, it wasn't comfortable.
Now, is there anybody that you saw a bunch of that you said, yeah, I own this guy?
I can't recall. You know, I can't remember yesterday. Yeah. You know, we're talking about 30 years ago.
That's not fair.
Negro, I couldn't hit him. I know the knuckleballer.
Yeah.
You know, Phil was a little tough. Joe was a little easier because he threw the hard one.
Swing and a miss. 2 down. Lester trying to finish strong. Over 100 pitches now. Yeah, I'm struggling to find somebody you really didn't have success against. Randy Jones, you mentioned him, 179.
Yeah.
Scott Sanderson, he went 7 for 42. But there's a lot of 367s. Jerry Royce, he had 414.
Yeah, he was cake.
29 for 70. You were 1 for 8 off the guy sitting next to you, but the hit was a home run.
Oh,
you remember giving up a home run to Bill?
I gave up so many, so many.
And I didn't hit that many to remember.
1-0 on Josh Harrison. Bounce towards center. Russell will just knock it down. Infield hit for Harrison.
I didn't have a play anyway, but man, that kid is fun to watch play. I don't know how much you've had a chance to watch him, but
Russell?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's going to be a good one. He knows the game, too. That's one.
Did you ever have to deal with a position shift?
No. It's
kind of you were there and stayed there, and
everybody just stayed there. You know, it's changed a lot. You know, they got a lot more data on everybody now where they hit the ball. We just started when I started coaching, but now they got just so much of what guys hit in certain situations, and pretty much it's right on the money.
Here is Neil Walker. Pretty good lead by Harrison. And a strike call toward the outside. So as a former Pirate, you had to feel good for them. Back-to-back playoff years after 20 seasons under 500.
Yeah,
it's a good baseball town.
It's a good baseball, outstanding stadium.
Runner goes, a little tapper, and another infield hit. Keep this inning alive.
Well, Harrison's ball was pretty well hit. This just a little roller by Neil Walker. Vespazio's going to come out and talk with Lester. Recently recalled Brian Schlitter hitting it up in the pen. Potential game-changing moment right here with McCutchen up. John Lester has answered every call here today. Anytime the Pirates have put pressure on him, he's been able to work his way out of it.
Okay, so McCutchen on deck. Very recently, Bill was hitting under 200, a guy who's used to being, 300 or above. Did you ever get off to like a terrible start? 6 weeks in, you're 210 or something, and if so, what did you just keep telling yourself?
I would have shot myself. I'm not that long in the season. I was watching him the other day. He had leg problem, I think.
Right.
And it's tough to hit without his legs. But at the end of the season, he's going to be right there.
Yep.
He's one of the best players in the league.
He's done a lot of damage in his career in this ballpark. In fact, he came in with the highest on base percentage all time in this ballpark, 465 coming into today. And a vicious cut, strike one.
I was talking to Billy Williams. We were talking to him last time he was in here. They said it's the dreadlocks, though. You can't hit without them. You got to get them back.
Yeah. Dangerous spot here. 2 men on. Lester's 0-1. Foul back.
Yeah, and John Lester's still in this ball game because of the lengthy game yesterday when Joe Madden pretty much used everybody except for Phil Koch, and now Joe Maddon's out, and they got a trainer.
So they saw something they didn't like. So P.J. Mainville and Joe Maddon is John Lester just kind of bent over at the waist. I don't know if maybe his back locked up.
Yeah, who knows? He might be cramping. Look at the sweat pouring off the bill of his hat.
Yeah, you worry about dehydration on a day like this for sure.
It's an unbelievable day. I thought it was going to get some rain today.
Let's see the reaction by Lester.
Maybe like a hamstring starting to cramp up on him or something.
Yeah. He's not going to come out of this game.
Well, the point I was going to make is because the bullpen was used and abused yesterday. Otherwise, Strop is probably in there or somebody else for this confrontation with McCutchen. But it's part of the job description. If you're the #1 guy, the ace, after a tough day like yesterday, you got to go a little bit deeper.
Two strikes on McCutchen. Good read by Harrison, so he'll get third on the wild pitch. Walker held. But that is textbook from Josh Harrison. Ball in the dirt, already had a big lead, go. Stretch with Bill Madlock.
Bill Madlock.
A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if you ever get back. Always root for the Cubbies. And if you don't win, it's a shame. Because there is 1, 2, 3 strikes here out at the all ball game. Yeah, get some runs, Cubbies.
This one went past Andrew McCutchen. Oh, pretty pumped up. John Lester as he got out of that 7th inning.
I love the reaction. Talk about making a clutch pitch.
Archimedes Caminero and some more gas. 98 miles an hour.
Been able to keep the walks down. It's kind of kept him in the minor leagues for a number of years. Lack of control. Seemed to have fixed that a little bit. A little mechanical tweak.
Jonathan Herrera off the bench for Lester. Swing and a miss, strike 3. One away.
It's your first alert weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Jerry Taft and meteorologist Cheryl Scott, only on ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
So I'm taking some heat on Twitter for my tiny fan, my smallest fan. It may not look big, but it packs a punch. And if we have a fan that's too big, then it kind of makes noise.
Well, I got a big one at home. It'll make its way in for the next homestand.
And I paid probably $3 for this fan, and it has never failed me.
You're not getting a lot of RPMs out of that right now, is it? You got it on low?
Yeah,
it works.
No, there's low, high. It's on and off. One and one to Russell. Enjoyed our convo with Bill Madlock. I should have been smarter than to realize that he probably never had a 6-week slump. You look at his batting record, and he was always a good average hitter in terms of that batting average. Three and one.
And next year, if we have him on, we'll ask him who the toughest pitcher he faced was, and he'll say Steve Carlton, despite the fact that you gave him the numbers to prove otherwise. It's one of those things that once it's in your head.
Ball 4 gets away from Stewart. Lester talking things over with Eric Hinsky, Anthony Rizzo, both starters as advertised today.
Just a workmanlike effort from Lester here today. He gave up 9 hits. Plenty of base runners to deal with, but when he needed it, he was able to make a pitch.
So Brian Schlitter goes from pitching at AAA Iowa to playing setup man in the 8th today. Looks like he's the next guy in line after the starter Lester. Oh, so now I'm getting fan love on Twitter. Everybody said, "Oh, I've got that fan. It's great."
Caminero throws hard, but he doesn't appear to be really quick to home plate. He'll be able to steal a bag off him here. Love to pad that lead for Schlitter. Love to pad it for whoever were to come into the ball game, but Brian hasn't been in this situation very often. Protecting a lead in the 8th.
So as big a lead as Russell has taken today, he's been able to get back to first quite easily on these right-handers pickoff throws.
Yeah, and I guess that would be the question, because you don't want a guy getting too big of a lead where he's not comfortable with his break towards second base, that he's kind of cheating back to the bag all the time. That's the trade-off. You know, ideally, you've got that big comfortable lead, and you still have your momentum heading towards second base. You're ready to go. But as to the conversation we had earlier about it, I'm with you. I think guys take too small of a lead. Especially for a base stealer, a guy who's got good wheels, who's looking to steal bases. The old thing was, step and a dive. Back to first base is where your lead should be. You're a would-be base stealer, and you're just taking a little shuffle and a step back to the base when the pitcher comes over. You're probably not taking a big enough lead.
Russell goes, and he's safe, and he's going to take third. So a couple of throwing errors on stolen bases by Chris Stewart today. 3 errors by the Pirates in all. And in the meantime, 3 and 2 on the hitter Fowler.
And he stumbles a little bit on his way into second base, kind of breaks stride, but Gong not able to knock that ball down. Stewart gets charged with the air, but this is on the middle infielder. Got to keep that ball from going into center field.
It's his first career stolen base. And the infield has to come in. Fowler held, ball 4. So 2 walks in the inning. And it's Chris Bryant. Double play depth up the middle. Dung the shortstop. Walker the second baseman. Ball 1.
Bryant gets the head out on one of these 98-mile-an-hour fastballs. With his swing, the way this wind is blowing here today, he might hit it to Evanston.
He gets by. Here comes Russell. And the Cubs get an insurance run. It's 3-1.
It's kind of coming unglued here in the bottom half of the 7th. Caminero all over the place. Stewart having a hard time holding him. Doesn't get down in time.
So Fowler now at second, a run in and a 2-0 count on Bryant. Walker was trying to hold Fowler tight. No hits in the inning. 2 walks, stolen base, an error, and a wild pitch. That's a balk. Little lean by Caminero, and Fowler's going to take third. We're filling up baseball bingo here, aren't we? Walks, errors, stolen bases, walks.
With the catcher's interference.
Watch the lean as he goes set.
Kind of drifts forward before stepping off. Started and stopped. That's a balk.
Ray Searage out. Three and one on Bryant. All four, he's on again. In the inning. Rizzo 2 for 3, average up to 349.
The Antonio Bastardo's up in the pen for the Pirates. He had been up earlier. He was going to stick with Caminero here and hope that he could find some command.
Back. Bastardo. Tag, he should be able to easily score. In fact, Marte won't even throw toward home. Cubs now lead by 3. Sac fly for Rizzo. Two runs without a hit here in the 7th.
All four of the Cubs runs have come home without a hit, right? Sac fly, fielder's choice, wild pitch, sac fly.
You're absolutely right. Good call. No run scoring hits for the Cubs. Sometimes you need to find other ways. Castro with the go-ahead RBI in the very first inning. And then again in the third. So he's got 2 go-ahead RBIs. Stewart has it, and that's it. But the Cubs had 2 key insurance runs. They lead 4-1 after 7. take a look at the ESPN Chicago game summary. Cubs leading the Pirates 4-1. John Lester, pitcher of record for the Cubs, as they try to beat Garrett Cole for the first time. He's 6-0 lifetime. Cubs also looking to start this homestand 6-0. Haven't had a winning streak that long since 2011. Here's Brian Schlitter back from AAA Iowa.
So far the numbers for Brian here not good. Down in Iowa, he had a couple of saves in 6 appearances and an ERA of 0.
Marte the batter. And he muscles that one out into right center for a base hit.
Third hit of the day for Marte. Field single, double to left, and now flips one out there to right center for his third hit. It's a pretty resilient bunch, coming back a couple different times yesterday.
And they were down 7-1 and 10-5 before eventually tying the game in the 9th inning. Second stint this year with the big league club for Schlitter. Chicago area native. In his second stint with the Cubs, 2010 made his debut. And then 61 appearances last year. Brian went to Maine South High School in Park Ridge. Lined fair. Left field corner. Marte to third. Rick Sofield puts up his hands. He stops him. It's a double for Gung. And the Pirates doing what they did yesterday late.
Schlitter relies on a sinking fastball. He throws hard, 94, 95 miles an hour. But when he gets it up, he gets into trouble, and that's the case here. Elevated fastballs turn into line drives. For a sinker baller, you know, four-seam guy with ride, that's maybe a pop-up or a swing-through. But two-seamer, you're trying to sink the ball, it stays up in the zone, run off and turns into a line drive.
So that'll be it for Schlitter. Phil Koch will come in to face Gregory Polanco when we return. 4-1 Cubs in the 8th. AC7 has been brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Ford, America's best-selling brand. Check out our entire lineup at your local Ford store or localfordstores.com. and by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Well, never easy, is it? Cubs lead by 3, but the Pirates have the tying run at the plate here in the 8th inning with nobody out.
A big chance for Phil Coke to elevate his status down there in the Cubs bullpen. He's the only reliever that did not pitch in the ball game yesterday. Matter of fact, it's been a while. It's been a week since he pitched.
Well, you can't say that pretty much every guy down there hasn't had opportunities. Polanco's first plate appearance today, and he takes a strike. Did not start the game, came into play right in the 6th inning. He walked in his final 4 plate appearances yesterday and had the defensive gaffe, the slip and right to end the game. Bounce back to Coke. And he'll get the out at first. Runners hold. 1 out.
It'd be 1 and done for Coke. Joe Madden bouncing out of the dugout. Marte had a notion and wisely slammed on the brakes.
Coke to Mott. When we return, still 4-1.
ABC 7 will be rebroadcasting each one of their Cubs matchups on the Live Well Network. This afternoon's encore of the Pirates versus Cubs will be aired in its entirety beginning at 7 p.m. on ABC 7's digital channel 7.2, and the following cable channel positions listed there.
Schlitter gave up a single and a double. Coke got Polanco on a comebacker. Mott came in to face Rodriguez, but it's going to be Pedro Alvarez instead.
Alvarez, a very dangerous weapon off the bench this afternoon for Clint Hurdle. Been used in the pinch a couple of times this year, 0 for 2.
Marte is at third, Gung the runner at second, 1 out. And here we go. Strike 1.
Backdoor cutter there to get started. Big fella got into one yesterday.
And it was 3 hits. Home run in the 4th inning. Outside, Travis Wood is up in the Cubs bullpen. Saw him off the bench as a pinch hitter yesterday. We may see him out of the bullpen today. Bounced foul.
Mott threw just 10 pitches in the ball game yesterday. Faced 2 hitters, was not effective, excuse me. Allowed a couple of hits, a couple of runs. One of them was a long ball.
One and two. Here it comes. It's high. And this is not an in-between start side session for Travis Wood. He's ready if needed in the bullpen. In tight. 3-2.
Tried to get him to chase high, then tried to crowd him with a fastball. Alvarez showing good discipline.
Swing and a miss. For strike 3 and out number 2 here in the 8th.
Lost his discipline, didn't he? Went way out of the strike zone to try to get this pitch. Mott misses his spot by about 1.5 feet. But Alvarez can't help himself. Piecing it together here. Both gets one. Mott punches out Alvarez. See if he can get Stewart.
Strike 1 on Stewart.
Lester's ability to go 7 innings today allows Joe Madden the flexibility to work this inning the way he has. Doesn't have to cover as many outs from the bullpen.
'98. 98. 1 and 2.
Adrenaline.
In the air. Soler's got it. And the inning is over. Still 4-1.
schedule. Next 3 games. One more here on the homestand. The Pirates and the Cubs to get after tomorrow afternoon at 1. And then off to the coast. The series with the Padres. Monday's an off day. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday against San Diego.
Alvarez, after pinch hitting, will stay in and play first. Antonio Bastardo will work here in the bottom of the 8th. This came off the paternity list yesterday. And then got Chris Bryant out to end the 4th in game 1.
Bastardo, a finesse type left-hander, does not throw hard. Pretty good changeup.
Facing left-handed hitting Chris Coghlan, and he sends one high in the air to center and caught by McCutchen. Hey, Cub fans, let's go. Don't miss all the excitement this season at Wrigley Field. After tomorrow's series finale with the Pirates, the Cubs will head west for a 6-gamer, and then they're back here at Wrigley Field for a start of a 6-game homestand on Memorial Day. Make sure you plan ahead. Go to Cubs.com and get your seats today. Soler with 2 hits. His average has gone up 9 points this afternoon. So it'll be a pinch hitter, and then the top of the Pirates order in the 9th inning. And might it be a save situation for Travis Wood? Joe Madden's the manager here, JD, so we know anything's possible. And as I said, Wood is available today in the pen.
Rondon is getting up now as well.
Okay, so maybe if they add on, we could see Travis. You waited it out. You didn't have to answer.
Well, I'm looking at my book to see who's available and what moves Hurdle might pull here. Just has Cervelli left on the bench, right?
Yep. He's used 3 of the 4 guys available. Now, benches are short with the bullpen additions for these 2 teams, and Soler just got bumped.
Slider running across the top of the strike zone just keeps pouring in on Soler. Whacks him on that front leg.
Strike to David Ross. Swing and a miss. From Bastardo off the paternity list, he a new baby boy, Byron, born on Monday. Thumped into center for David Ross. 2 on, 1 out.
Bastardo does a lot of work up in the strike zone with his fastball. He's got some deception, and he's more of a finesse type guy. He doesn't light up the radar gun, but he has a decent velocity, so you got to get him down. He's a little easier to hit when that ball is down. That's a great look. Josh really squared that one up.
Wellington Castillo now to pinch hit. for Mott. They're going to extras in St. Louis. Tigers and Cardinals are tied at 3. Here it's 4-1 Cubs in the 8th. They're trying to add on.
Elements were favorable to the hitters today, except for the fact that there were 2 really good starting pitchers on the mound. Cole and Lester did their thing, so it's been a tight, low-run game for the most part. Then Caminero really sloppy out of the pen last inning. Cubs able to tack a couple on without a hit.
One and two.
Big crowd's been into this game. Been some big moments, big pitches made with runners on base.
Strike 3, got him. So 2 outs. 10th Cub batter to strike out in this one.
Started living on the edge. Painted that outside corner.
Too high to Russell. I haven't looked. Has Rondon been really airing it out? Or
I
just
haven't
playing
seen
catch? I thought he was just kind of tossing while Wood looks to be ready.
It may be emergency only for Rondon today. It might be, 3-run lead. Let's see how far Travis can go, and if he needs to be bailed out, then give Rondon the ball.
The 2-0 is a strike.
Rondon has worked 3 days in a row, 4 of the last 5.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually thrown a pitch off the rubber yet. I think he's just kind of soft tossed. Just trying to get his arm a little bit loose. Two and two.
Maybe Joe Madden has no intention of using him. He's decoying Woody, saying, I got your back. I got one more behind you if need be.
Cubs strand a couple, so we go to the 9th. 4-1. Here comes Travis Wood.
ABC 7 has been brought to you by DeVry University. Different on purpose. Okay. Well, Travis Wood made 3 relief appearances as a minor leaguer with the Reds. 4 in the majors, all with Cincinnati in 2011. Hector Rondon now really cranking it up in the Cubs bullpen as Wood comes in a safe situation with a 3-run lead facing pinch hitter Francisco Cervelli.
Soft ball low to get started. Yeah, this is interesting. Travis Wood has made 131 major league starts. He's spent a lot of time on that mound, but it's a different feel when you're handed the ball in the 9th inning.
Drilled deep the other way, but Soler will get it. I'll tell you, you mentioned earlier it felt like the ball was really carrying. I think that's changed here the last hour or so.
Yeah, I think it's swirling more because we could feel it here in the booth a little bit more here in the later innings. Got off to a good start in that ball game on Thursday, but the final numbers not pretty. 4 1/3, 7 hits, 5 runs, allowed 3 long ones.
He's had a tough go of it here his last few starts. A 3.04 in 4 April starts. Much different in May. 3 starts at 10.13 earned run average. 15 earned runs and 13 in the 3rd innings. Two and 1. The plate inside.
Dan Quisenberry once said a manager uses his bullpen the way a gangster in an old movie uses his revolver. He fires all the bullets. When he runs out of those, he throws the gun at the guy. That's exactly what's gone on here. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Chance for Travis Wood to make a big contribution here.
There's been speculation about Tsuyoshi Wada. He's nearing coming off the disabled list. His last start coincided with Woods. So we'll see what happens down the road. But for today, Travis Wood playing closer. Castro back of short. 2 down.
And I've always said, the save is an overrated stat. I think you agree with me on that one.
Yes.
Not all saves are created equal. And you feel like any major league pitcher should be able to go in and get 3 outs before the other team gets 3 runs. But having said that, when you haven't been in this position before, I mean, that heart's got to be pounding pretty hard.
And how about those 2 big runs without a hit to add some insurance? How enormous were those in the 7th?
Oh, yeah. To provide this little breathing room.
Kolk and Mott, yeoman's work to get out of that 8th inning. And now Travis Wood here in the 9th. Fowler has it. Cubs win. A chance for a perfect homestand if they can win tomorrow. And Travis Wood with a poker face, but he's got to feel pretty good today as he notches the save. The first of his life, as far as I know.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever had one at the lower levels, but, no nonsense stuff out there today. Attacked the strike zone, did his thing, got him to put it in play. Fairly routine 1-2-3 finish to this ball game.
So the Cubs have won 6 in a row. The Pirates have dropped 4 straight, and high fives all around. That was a team effort this afternoon. Even some chest bumps from the manager. Final score, Cubs 4, Pirates 1. We'll be back.